Hey, welcome back to Skingrad. We are in one of the centermost of the Imperial counties. We're going to do a local quest involving a certain paranoid wood elf. I believe we get this one started by asking around town for rumors. Or we could just wait for the guy running towards us to talk to us.
Over here! Yeah. We can't talk here. Too public. Meet me behind the great chapel at midnight. Don't let anyone follow you. I'll make it worth your while.
Okay, this quest is going to have a bit of waiting around. So I'll head over to the great chapel and I'll cut to when it is midnight.
Ah, you came. You're sure you weren't followed? Good. I thought I could trust you. Nobody else in town. They're all in on it. All watching me. Well, yes, I need you to do something for me. I'll pay you gold. You like gold, don't you? Lots of gold. Here's my problem. I'm being followed. Watched. Marukote selectives, maybe. Not sure. I'm a threat, you see, to their plans. I know too much. I need you to check out some people for me. The ones who are following me. Watch them. See where they go. Who they report to. Will you help me?
Sure, I'll help you. Although I'm not sure if I can.
Very good. You won't be sorry. I'll pay you well. Did I say that already? Let's start with Bernadette Penniless. Be outside my house at 6 a.m. You'll see her watching me. See where she goes and who she reports to. We'll meet here again tomorrow night. Oh, and never contact me in public. They're watching. They can't know you're helping me.
Can you tell me anything more about this Bernadette that you think is watching you?
Her house is almost directly across the street from mine, southwest of the Great Chapel. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Can you tell me anything about Skingrad?
There's so much I could tell you. So many secrets. But then you'd be in danger too. It's best if we're not seen talking.
Okay. So,
Remember, Bernadette
he thinks he's been
6 a.m.
watched.
Don't let us.
So we'll play along and humor him. Well, let's see. Where is his house? I think it's over there.
Hello.
So we'll head over there, then we'll wait till morning and see if she really is watching him. Okay, it's 6 a.m. There she is. I don't see him. She doesn't seem to be taking any interest in his house. Let's talk to her.
I'm Bernadette Penniless. I work for Tamika. I grow grapes for her wines.
Can you tell me about Skingrad, Bernadette?
I've lived here all my life. Grown grapes. It's all I know. Fresh air, mountains, the grapes on the vine. It's just beautiful.
Can you tell me anything about your neighbor, Glarthur?
I don't mean to gossip, but he is more than a bit strange. However, he's always been tolerated as a town eccentric. Take care.
Town eccentric. Let's ask some of the other people around town about him.
No time to talk.
Well, there he is. Maybe she is watching him. She walks right past him. And she turns with a sharp angle there and heads into the church. She doesn't actually seem to be watching him. Let's ask him.
I told you not to speak to me in public. We'll meet tonight at the place we discussed. Sorry. I have no idea what time it is.
I'd have to say, he's acting a lot more weird than she is. Eccentric. So, let's sneak into her house.
A little bird told me that you've been asking around town about Glarther, a resident eccentric. I'd like to know why.
He asked me to help him out. I'm just curious about him, or none of your business. The entire town was in a conspiracy against him. The first option would be a bad idea. The third one might also make them suspicious. I'd say I'm just curious about him.
Fine. Play it that way. Let me give you some friendly advice. Glarther is crazy. Maybe harmless crazy, maybe not. Don't get involved with him. If he asks you to do anything strange, you come see me first. Got it? Or any of the town guard. Let us handle it.
Nothing suspicious in her house. It's looking very much so like Glarthar is simply being paranoid. So, I'll cut ahead to meeting him again at midnight.
So, you saw Bernadette Penniless, did you? She was watching me and following me, wasn't she?
Actually, she didn't seem to be watching or following you.
Really? That is surprising. I was sure she was watching me.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but good news, right? How about that reward you promised me?
Ah, of course. The gold. Here. But there is someone else I need you to investigate.
What else do you want me to do?
Tutius Sextius. Do you know him? A quiet fellow. Appears harmless enough. But I've identified him as one of my key suspects. He's a clever one, no doubt about it. Eyes in the back of his head. Always seems to know when I'm watching. But that's where you come in. You should wait outside his house and see what he does when he's not watching me. I'll meet you here tomorrow night to get your report.
Can you tell me anything more about Tutius Sextius?
He lives in the large house between the Low Gate and the East Bridge. Alone. Suspicious, don't you think?
What do you think about Bernadette?
I still can hardly believe she wasn't watching me. But it is a relief to be able to finally stop worrying about her.
Maybe we'll be able to convince him that nobody's really watching him.
He's much more dangerous than he looks.
So we'll head over to this other guy's house and wait for him to wake up, talk to him. Then I'll probably watch him a little bit and then cut to whether or not I found any evidence. Let's see what he has to say for himself.
Hello. You're new here, or you'd know me. Tutius Sextius. My people have lived in Skingrad since the dawn. Father and the Count were best of friends.
You don't happen to know anything about a wood elf named Glarthar, do you?
I'm sorry, but I don't think I know any Glarther. Oh, wait. Do you mean that strange wood elf that you see wandering around the city? Yes, I've seen him, but never spoken to him. He seems to be at the Low Gate every morning when I pass by on my way to the castle. Gives me the strangest looks now that you mention it. Almost like he hates me, although I have no idea why.
Can you tell me anything more about Glarthar?
Yes, the strange wood elf who haunts the Low Gate every morning. You said he was Glarther. I'm afraid I know nothing else about the fellow.
Can you tell me anything more about Skingrad itself?
Perhaps you should seek out a priest, perhaps a beggar or guardsman. You and I, we have nothing in common. What could we possibly talk about?
This guy's a bit of a jerk. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's after Glarthar. So I'll follow him for a little bit and then cut ahead to our next meeting with Glarthar. Okay, we're back to talk with him again. I followed Tudius Sextus a little bit, looked around his house. Nothing suspicious.
Tell me what you learned about Tudius Sextius.
He doesn't actually appear to be watching you either.
Really? So you're saying that neither Bernadette Penniless or Tudius Sextius is part of the conspiracy against me? Hard to believe.
Well, it's Triss. What about that reward you promised?
Yes, the gold that you value so highly. I wonder what price betrayal. Never mind that. We shall see. I do have one more name for you.
I think he's starting to suspect that we've been bribed. That we're part of the conspiracy now. What else do you want me to do?
Do you know David Sorley? Yes, of the famous Sorley Vineyards. Pillar of the community, etc. Who would ever suspect him? Perfect cover for the ringleader of the whole conspiracy. He watches my house constantly. You'll see. He leaves his house early each morning. Watch him and report back to me here at midnight as usual. Make sure he doesn't notice you.
Let's see what he has to say about Tudius Sextius.
I was sure he was part of the conspiracy. Sure of it. I guess it just goes to show... Well, we'll see what it goes to show, won't we?
Can you give me any more information about David Cyril?
The Sorley house is right next door to mine. A large house with a backyard conveniently located to observe my every move. Be careful.
Okay, we'll head
David
over there.
Sorley is the ringleader. You must not let him catch you.
Okay, we'll talk to that David that he thinks is watching him. He's wearing a hood.
Morning. I'm Gaston Cyrilli. Perhaps you've met my brother David. Together we are the Cyrilli Brothers Winery.
Can you tell me anything about Skingrad?
Skingrad is the wine-producing capital of Tamriel. You must sample our local wines. You'll never taste better. The 415 vintages were particularly good. The 399, well, a once-in-a-lifetime experience, if you can find a bottle.
Now, do you happen to know your neighbor, the wood elf Glarthar?
You may have heard that he's a bit touched in the head, and that may be true. But he's always been a quiet neighbor, never given us any trouble.
That really doesn't
Take
sound
care.
like cultists. Let's find his brother David.
Well met. I'm David of Cyrilli Brothers Vineyard. Gaston is my brother. From our vineyards come the finest wines in Tamriel.
Finer than Tamika's?
Ah, well, in all honesty, no. But our wines are very good, and much cheaper than Tamika's very fine product, I assure you. You too.
Well, I'll look around his house and then cut to our final meeting with Glarthar and see what he has to say. Okay, it's midnight again. I didn't find any evidence that David Cyrilil, or whatever his last name is
what did you
after
discover
Glarthar.
about the upstanding David Sorley?
Surly, that was it. I'm afraid I didn't find any evidence at all that he's spying on you.
Just as I suspected! They've gotten to you, too! Not one of them involved in the conspiracy, and you expect me to believe that? Now I know for sure that they are all in on it, and therefore they all have to die, starting with you.
What a nut job. But there's actually no way for this to turn out so that he doesn't die.
And to think I trusted you.
Glarthier is dead. My attempts to convince him that there was no conspiracy against him have ended in tragedy. So if you try to convince him that there are none, he thinks that you're in with them. And if you let him know that any of them are spying on him, then he will ask you to assassinate them. And if you report him to the Town Watch will just outright kill him. Apparently they don't have, mental institutions or anything like that. Let's actually use his key and take a look around his house. I seem to recall that despite all of his conspiracies, he actually caught on to some real cults. He's got a lot of books. Some of which are actually worth some money. These ones are each worth 40. Be a good place to burglarize. Those ones are worth a good bit too. I seem to recall that it's in his basement that he has like his conspiracy workshop. I was right. His notes. I fear the conspiracy spreads further than I thought. The supposed stranger in town appears to be involved. It is likely that both Bernadette and Tutius Sexius are blameless, but I must not act without proof. That seems like a question. I have always held myself to a higher standard than my enemies. The report on David Surly will tell the tale. I fear that the end is near, but I will not go down without a fight. They will know that Glarthier, at least, did not submit to their yoke quietly. Sounds like the last letter that he wrote. Which would probably make this one the first. Good news. I may still have a chance. Found someone to help me today. A stranger who can move freely. I hope to have proof against Bernadette Penniless by tonight. So that's his first letter. Bernadette Penniless is not involved in the conspiracy? At least, so my new acquaintance tells me. I hope it is true, but my instincts are rarely wrong. But I have no reason to suspect treachery yet. The report on Tutius Sexius should help me decide where my new friend's loyalties lie. You can see he's already suspecting that I'm in league with them. Morndus. Today I caught Bernadette Penniless watching me. I have very little doubt now that she is one of them. This saddens me. I had thought her one of the few to show me kindness in this nest of treachery, but now it seems that was all a lie. Observations of David Surly. Morndus watched him from my upstairs window. He pretends to work, but I can tell he's really watching my house. Spent several hours whispering to his brother. Could Gaston be involved as well? Tertus followed him to his vineyard. Don't think he saw me. He went off by himself once. Could have been burying secret evidence? No, go back tonight and search for this. Could be the break I need to finally learn the truth. Mindus. Too sick to go out today, but noticed him staring at my window. Tertus. Searched the vineyard tonight. Found nothing, but the ground had been clearly disturbed. He must have learned I was spying on him and removed it. Note, need to find someone from out of town to help me. My movements are too closely watched. Kratos. David watched my house again. He doesn't even try to hide it anymore. They are becoming more brazen now. Think I'm as good as caught in their net. I must strike back before it's too late. But are desperate measures called for yet? Do I have enough proof to justify acting? And his last note. Current thoughts on the conspiracy. Marukahati selectives? Most likely. Ruthless and secretive. I have undoubtedly earned their enmity by my vigilance numerous times. The Blades, supposedly the guardians of the Empire, question, do they know that I know their dark secret? Everything hinges on that. And the Mystic Dawn, need to learn more about them. Obscure hints from various sources suggest they could be the most dangerous of the three. Question, why do they want me dead? So we can see that he's aware of at least two real organizations, the Blades and the Mystic Dawn. Both of which we'll learn more about in the main story of the game. I think this one's probably made up, but I could be wrong. It would be interesting to know if somebody has encountered them in either other Elder Scrolls games or in lore books. But I think that's where we're going to stop this episode. I'll be back soon as we head out probably to Anvil, or I was also thinking of doing a quest to get a stronghold outside of Coral at Battlehorn Castle. I have never done that quest before. It came out in DLC that I did not purchase, but I obtained when I bought this game on Steam, so we'll take a look.